Radio Hereford FC, the only station with full match commentaries of the Bulls. Every game, every week.
Hello and welcome again to We're Going Down the Pub with me, Frank Williams, and of course our resident ground guide guru, Mr. Simon Wright.
Thank you for that, Frank. Greetings, you lucky people. I'm looking around for any hidden video cameras that Frank may have stuck around. I'm not keen on this video lark, and having been recognised over and over again at Tunbridge.
We were recognised, which shows that people watched it.
Yeah.
Which might mean that people actually listen to these broadcasts.
Yeah, we might get 3 instead of 2 people.
That's right, but we're here to talk about Wimborne.
Good old Wimborne.
Another away game.
Another Saturday, another away game. This could be the last, though, because, this is the 8 out of the 8.
Yes, there's a few more to come, I think.
Yeah, well, true.
Yeah, for the moment.
Okay, for the moment.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you a bit about Wimborne then. A lot of history, been around for 138 years. But it does, certainly from a distance, feel very much like a new club, because they got themselves a bit of financial pickle last season. There's a whole new board took over. The previous board resigned en masse, and they got a 7-person board in January, and it's headed up by a chairperson, Paula Henley, which is unusual, but she seems a very jolly lady on Facebook, so good on her. Not just a new board, but new manager and new staff. They all joined over the summer, and they brought in 9 players with them, so it's like everything's new. Managers Matt Holmes, people may remember him, Bournemouth player, been around a while. His brother Danny is assistant manager, and Matt's son Luke is in the squad.
So it's a Holmes.
It's the familiar step 4 theme of keeping it in the family,
like the Lairds.
Yes, like the Lairds, and it seems like every club down south, one way or another. And so basically Luke and another Holmes, who doesn't seem to be related, they seem to be scoring all the goals.
Right, so if the supporters get on their backs because they're not doing very well, is that Holmes under the hammer?
Oh, do you be rehearsing that one up?
I did think about it before you bought me this pint. I don't bought that. Simon's bought me a pint.
Yeah, it's not that rare an event.
No, it's not indeed. No, but I'm very grateful because I was slightly late arriving.
Not a problem. I'm going to have to. Sorry, I'm going to do a bit of schoolboy humour. If you can, so can I.
Okay.
One of the new signings is called Dan Can.
Dan Can.
Right. A lot of schoolboy tittering for me immediately. I'm a bit of the poor sod. It's really not really an accurate name because he hasn't played a single game this season, poor chap. But there you go.
Is he AC, DC? Well, he's DC, isn't he? So that's.
Well, you're tempted to say Dan Can, can't you? But that really is schoolboyish. But there you go. Sorry, Dan. Anyway, moving on rapidly. Home, they got a sort of solid record. They beat Cleve and they beat Taunton. Then they drew with Winchester. More recently, they played the Mangotsfield, and lost at home to them.
A lot of people are losing to Mangotsfield, doing well.
Yes, except us. Pleased to see Wimborne's gates have picked up, because they were not great last season. They're now averaging about 250, which
25% up on
it is. Season. It's significant, and
indeed.
Good on them. They're obviously working hard there.
Right, prices usual.
Yeah, usual. Sorry, at this point I'm being very neglectful. Sorry, Matt Dixon. Thank you, Matt, for putting all this together for us. You've been our local Johnny on the spot, so nice one, Matt. £9 adults, £5 for concessions, and if you're under 16, it's just a couple of quid. Okay, it's an interesting ground. There's 275 seats. Some are plastic, some are elderly wooden benches. Now, sucking your teeth.
Wooden benches.
And
wooden stairs.
Wooden stairs, yeah. You think of a certain prominent Hereford supporter, now forever known as the Sutton Stair Smasher. With him in town, will that poor stand survive? There's a question.
We won't name and shame
No,
at this
no,
moment
no.
in time, but you know who you are, Rob. Oh, drat. Sorry, I let that slip.
Oh, dear,
Right, standing areas
Standing, yeah.
covered?
Yeah, they've got two of them, both narrow, but they've both got roofs, which is very nice. Either side of the main stand, and the full width behind the goal.
Oh, not bus shelters for a change then.
Well, sort of. If you like a very big bus shelter.
Right, it's a wide bus
It's a
shelter.
very, very
It's a
wide bus shelter,
right.
yeah. And in case you've forgotten where you are, it picks out the name of the club on the back wall,
Right.
Wimborne Town
Right.
FC. So just in case you get
Now,
confused.
what's this I hear about a slope?
It's I'm only looked at pictures, but it's a very strange side-to-side sloping pitch. It's the sort of pitch that make you think, even I know I'm a teetotaler, but I think I must have had a drink because that doesn't look quite right.
Right.
It is well, when you see the pictures up on the Talking Ball website and possibly in the programme, you'll think, that's different.
Yeah, but I understand this might be our last chance to play on it.
Yeah, they've got an planning application in to move to a new ground with a 3G pitch, which will make some of the purists very unhappy. But there you go. It's a sort of, I believe it's an out of town ground as part of a new housing estate, and the builders have to build the ground as part of the deal. It's still being considered at the moment, so could be next
Right.
year, could be whenever. Parking's okay. There's 40 spaces behind the main stand, and that does include reserved spaces for disables. When those go, there's the training field just a few yards away, and basically anybody can park in there free of charge, which is good to hear. One curiosity, the programme. First of all, I must say it's a decent programme, original content, they really thought about it. But interestingly, all programmes this season can be read online as a PDF. Just go on the website and they're all there. Just click, 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 and just read and see what you think.
Right, so we'll get on now to the usual food and drink.
Absolutely.
What about the clubhouse?
Clubhouse? It's well, again, thank you, Matt, for visiting. Personally, it's a difficult job. Somebody has to do it. It's a bijou clubhouse, but I guess we're getting quite used to it. It's small. It's
right.
small, yeah. They have Sky Sports, which the club has introduced as an experiment in the hope of getting additional custom. Now, we were originally promised proper beer to add to the resident draft Guinness, 2 lagers, and the cloudy apple cider.
Hopefully not from Suffolk.
No.
Right.
No, I think it's a Strongbow, isn't it, cloudy apple?
Right, yeah.
Sad to say, the clubhouse manager is he's retired rather abruptly through ill health, so it's going to be volunteers only. So
Right, so whether we get a real ale in is another
I suspect
question.
probably not. It's going to be like the basic and just
Right.
get them out. But interesting twist about the ground. There's a barbecue by the corner flag. Well, okay, but no,
There's a Subway on the halfway
there's
line.
as well as that as well. You've got
And a McDonald's.
all of those, but put those to one side and think about considering the barbecue.
Right.
Because there's an award-winning butcher's called Keating's. The local butcher has supplied the meat for the burgers and the hot dogs. So
Right.
it sounds sort of like kidder type quality food. So
Right.
I'm
Good.
liking the sound of that. But if you worry about the clubhouse not serving decent beer, then 5 minutes away there are a couple of alternatives. There's the Minster Arms, which is a food-led gastropub. So, moving on rapidly, nearby is a more traditional pub called the Green Man.
That's a drinker's pub then, yeah?
You might call it a drinker's pub, of course. You might. Now, there is a refurb underway. This is again Matt Dixon investigation. He's done a grand job with checking out all these bars. So there's a refurb underway, so we're not 100% sure what they will sell. But currently, or pre-refurb, they were selling Wadsworth 6X, Wadsworth IPA, Wadfish Swordfish.
There's a lot of Wadsworth.
There's a lot of Wadsworth, yes. Amstels, Fosters, Guinness, Flowers, Stowford Press, and Weston's Old Rosie all feature, so
Right,
might be one to look out for.
Although there's nothing down on our sheets here, I understand if you're going to walk into town and walk back again and you're going to have maybe a couple of pints, there is sort of a health hazard on the way. Like, for example, the access to the ground is a very narrow and twisty little lane.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something to be aware of. It's a narrow section of road with no pavement and there's a blind bend, so just be aware, particularly if if you've had one or two, or you're in a chair, maybe a bit limited mobility, just be really careful going around that bit. So there you go. That's the safety announcement. Yeah. Okay.
Now, also there's a micropub in the town as well.
Yes, it'd be rude not to, really, in the town centre. It's called the Tap House, as Frank astutely observed. It's a micropub. 8 revolving local ales plus a range of ciders. So that sounds quite an interesting one. But if you want to avoid the beer and you want to try food, then there's an excellent deli and restaurant called the Tickled Pig.
I love that.
Yes, it's an interesting name, and it's restaurant. There's 79 restaurants in Wimborne.
How many?
79.
And what's the population?
About 15,000. It's not much bigger than Leicester.
79 restaurants.
It's stunning, isn't it?
And it's rated the best
And first at the 79. So.
And who's rated that?
Basically, TripAdvisor. Okay. If there's just a small number, I say but they're running into hundreds. These recommendations, so
right,
go with that.
Sounds like a good one.
Apparently I have this obsession with eating cake, so if you look out for Choco Cake in East Street, they have hundreds and hundreds of
chocolate cakes
and very other delightful gooey sticky bits.
Do you intend to try it yourself?
Well, sadly I won't be there, Frank.
No,
there's the confession.
There you go.
Yeah,
I will try and find the chocolate.
I think you'll have to. Yes,
certainly get a photograph.
I have another commitment, sadly, so this is one I'm not going to make. This sounds quite weird. Not going to Hereford again.
It's not our longest journey, not compared with last week. 129 miles.
Yeah.
But it's desperate, isn't it? It's not motorway.
No, it isn't. Now, here's a heartfelt quote from Andy Dixon, who obviously lives in the area. Says, "This is a very long trip for shire folk. I've done it many times in the opposite direction, and it's hard yakka."
Well, basically, it's over the hot air balloon and out to past Cirencester and out to Swindon, and then straight on, basically down towards Poole. So actually, you're just going to cross over the M4. That's the only bit of motorway you're going to get, and a bit of the M6 beforehand. It's
quite tight and narrow road. Those people who followed Hereford United to Poole a couple of years back will remember just how long that road is. Train, now it's as we say in the Black Country, if you go by train for this one, you're cowing yampy. It's nobody knows a clue what that is, but there you go. It's a good job, really. Yeah. Okay. It's a mere 5 hours rail down to Poole with 3 changes and including a bus replacement. And when you get there, there's no buses, so you need an 8-mile taxi journey as well. So yeah.
Right.
So it sounds like Reg is the man.
But Reg is back.
Well,
I've seen all the pictures of him sunning on the beach, and he said how marvellous it was listening to the match last week, 8,000 miles away or whatever it was.
I've got to admire somebody who is taking bookings from his deck chair in Barley.
Absolutely. Now, Reg is leaving Radford's at 9 a.m, £20 a seat. Currently taking bookings from his deck chair in Barley. As you say, that is style, that is class, isn't it, really?
But seriously green with envy, actually.
I don't know where his stops are going to be to pick up people on the way, but if you get on the Hereford Away Days Facebook page, find the event there, and you can give him his usual text, and he'll sort you out. Well, that's a long one.
There you go. Yes,
only
indeed.
129 miles, but slow.
You're looking at minimum of 3 hours one way. It's a long, long haul.
Yeah, so it looks like you're going to average just over 40 miles an hour under good conditions. Yeah, so that's a desperate one.
Oh dear, there you go.
It's been an absolute pleasure, as usual.
Oh, Frank, you do. Okay, look out for these notes. They'll be in the Poulton programme on the 11th and also on the Talking Bull website.
That's great, so thank you very much, and we'll catch up with you again after we've finished another few of these points. We'll record another one or two in a week or so's time.
Swindon Supermarine, I believe, is next up.
It's the next away one. Yes, that's a Tuesday nighter as well, isn't
lovely.
it? Yeah, so that'll be nice. And we'll be in touch with you about that as soon as we get the details ourselves. Thanks for listening, all you folks out there, and we'll catch up with you soon. Bye.
Yay.
This is Radio Hereford FC, the home of the Bulls. Match Day Live.